Hi everyone, it's Darlene. Welcome back for another card video. Today's card is the launch for the June challenge for doodling. I don't have a lot of products that I'm using. I am using this Micron 03 pen. I'm taking my T-square and I'm going to draw a horizontal line and a vertical line on my Nina Solar white cardstock. I'm just sort of eyeballing it. I wish I had drawn the line a little closer to the left edge, that vertical line. But anyway, I'm just drawing a guide for my doodling, which is Zentangle, and this is a pattern. There's tons of patterns in Zentangling. This is a pretty easy one. So I just drew this center line and I'm going up and down, and notice that they're all different sizes. This is not perfect. I could have drawn a line above and a line below my original pencil line if I really wanted this to be a little bit more even. But that's kind of the charming part of the Zentangle, is that it's not perfect and it does look hand-drawn, which is what doodling is. So what I'm doing now is I'm just connecting the points. I'm going to fast forward here and you can see they're not perfect, but I'm kind of creating an arch between each point. That's step 2. And then finally, I'm going to add one more small detail, and that is little tiny baby half circles over the entire edge. So you can see as I'm drawing them here, for some reason today my hand wasn't very steady, so some of them are thick, some of them are thin, some are round, some are pointy, so it definitely looks hand drawn. But it is a cool look, and that is just the way it's supposed to be. The last time I did Zentangle, I just did black and white. So this time I'm going to add some color, and I'm going to use my Copic markers to do that. Okay, so once I get my vertical one done, I'm going to do the horizontal one, and this one is going to be underneath the first strip. So I'm going to draw up and down the same as I did before, and I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to pretend like I'm drawing so it comes out kind of where it should be. I'm not sure if I really did a good job of that, but whatever. So I'm going to go up and down here on my line, and then I'm going to fast forward this. I'm going to connect them all with the arches on both sides, and then draw my little baby circles. This is in super fast motion. I want to say that the vertical line took about 4 minutes, and this horizontal line took about 3 minutes or so in total. All right, so now I'll erase my pencil lines and I'll start with my coloring. So I have 3 colors of blue, and I'm going to start with my dark one, B05, and I'm going to color along the bottom part of all of these kind of pie shapes, you can think of them. So on the bottom third of the pie, along the whole edge, and then a little bit up in the middle and up the side, the curve. And I'm going to work in sections, so I'm going to do about 4 or 5 different pie slices here in full, and then I'll start the next. So, all right, now that's my first color. My second one is B02, and I'm just going to work my way over the edge of the B05 and move up a little bit. I'm going to go down into the B05, but not all the way down to the B05, just enough to kind of blend those 2 colors together. All right, so notice also that my lines are not straight, so they're kind of as the edge of my B02 at the top. It's not a straight line, and this helps with the blending. And then finally I have the B000, which is a super light color, but I wanted it to be light so it would look more dimensional. But because it's so light, I'm having to kind of pull that color all the way down through the next 2 colors, just to make sure that I get a nice blend and it doesn't look too blotchy. So here's my last one, and I'm going to try to stay in the lines. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I wanted to have those little baby circles on the outside be white. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same exact thing all the way down. I'm going to kind of skip over that because it's all the same. And I'm going to end with my final one here. I'm going to color my horizontal strip green. So I have 3 different colors of green. And I'm doing this quick because I'm doing the exact same thing I did with the blues, which is my dark G09 here. And I'm going to work in sections so that it doesn't dry too quickly. I just find that it blends better if I do it while it's still a little bit wet. And then my G12 is also a very, very light green, so I'm going to have to kind of go into the other 2 colors to get a nice blend. So I'm just going to go through the rest of these, and here I am at the bottom here. Now this next step, I wanted to highlight, like make these strips sort of pop off the paper a little bit by providing a shadow behind. So you could just skip this part if you don't want to do it, but it just adds a nice detail. So I have C4, and I'm just coloring around my circles. And I'm also going to color over the green because the blue is in front of the green and it will cast a shadow. So again, I'm going to work in sections here. I'm just trying to go over those circles the best I can while I stay inside the lines. And then I'll take my C2, which is the new marker I just got because I had a C1. I didn't have anything in the middle, and I really like having that C2. And what I'm doing is I'm just blending over the edge of the C4. So I'm not coloring the C2 all the way to the circles. I'm just coloring the very hard line edge of the C4 and just kind of coming out just a little bit with it. And I'm just going to do this same thing all the way up one side of the blue, and then I'm going to do it all the way down the other side of the blue, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the green. Of course, the green is underneath, so I'm going to skip the blue part and just do the C4 and then finish off with that C2. And that is going to be the end of the coloring. So it was pretty easy to do, and it didn't take me too much time. I think it looks really cool. So I trimmed off 3/16 of an inch on two sides. So here's my Hero Arts note card that I'm going to adhere to. So you can see I've got a little bit of a mat, just half of a 3/16 of an inch. And I'm going to split my sentiment on two lines. So I'm going to use my MISTI, and I'm going to put some surgical tape over part of the sentiment and stamp the Amazing. And then I'll cover the Amazing and stamp the You're Pretty on top of that. And I'm using some Hero Arts black ink for this. It's actually a little nerve-wracking stamping directly onto this panel since I spent a bunch of time on it, but luckily with the MISTI, I don't have to worry too much about it because I can always restamp if it doesn't come out. And then I just use ATG tape runner on the back and put it on my Hero Arts note card. And that is the card for the challenge. So I'm excited to see what you come up with. Maybe you'll try the Zentangle. It's actually really fun. You can Google and get a lot of different patterns. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.